Hi, I'm Frederick Regenold. That's me in the middle, when I look more like a human being. The covers are from my 2-volume novel, La Jolla Story. It's about a young limo driver at a fictional residential hotel in La Jolla, California. His name is Nat Goldman, and he's the main character. And there are numerous other characters who are quite colorful and interesting. But there's a secondary male character who's equally important. The name he uses is Tom Mitchell, but it isn't his real name. And he's a resident at this hotel, living there incognito because he's a former CIA operative who's trying to slip away from his past, especially concerning a Muslim terrorist who murdered his wife and 2 daughters and is looking for him because Mitchell killed his brother. Mitchell is popular with the other residents and the hotel employees, also with his private nurse from Argentina who falls in love with him, and he with her. If I were a billionaire and had complete control of the movie version of this story, Liam Neeson would portray Mitchell. He'd be perfect. In the segment I'm about to read, you'll meet Mitchell for the first time and have an opportunity to learn how clever and mentally flexible he is. I'm going to leave this picture of me and the book covers here instead of a video of me reading from the book. I'm almost 90 years old now and not in very good health. I don't want you to be distracted from the words in my story by watching my old face and mouth and wondering if my dentures are going to flop out. Okay, here we go. I'll read now. Instead of watching, try to listen. October 2000, La Jolla Cove. The dark-haired, unshaven man, maybe 40 years of age, was leaning against a metal pole in an area overlooking the cove. He was closely watching the movement of another man on the next level down from him, where there are several benches. The man he watched walked slowly, then sat on one of the benches a few yards to his left, the bench farthest from the lifeguard stand. It was late afternoon, and the air was cool. Both men wore zippered cloth jackets. The man watching now walked briskly but smoothly toward the concrete steps nearest the bench on which the other man sat. As the man reached the bottom of the steps, he slowed his pace and approached the sitting man, who appeared to be in his 60s. "Is it okay if I sit here?" The older man spoke with a very thick accent. "Yes, of course, Drago Mije." The man sat, turning his body toward the older man. Both men had their hands in their jacket pockets. "You sound foreign. I hope you can understand me." "I no speak good English, but I understand okay. I understand you." The older man now twisted more so he could look directly into the other man's eyes. "Where are you from?" "Croatia. You know where is it?" "Nah." "Yeah, it's what I thought." The older man smiled. The younger man nervously moved both of his pocketed hands. Okay, listen to what I say and do what I tell you, and you won't get hurt. He looked into the older man's face to make sure he understood. I listen. He nodded his head. Don't make a sound. I'm holding a knife and it's sharp. Very slow-like. I want you to take your wallet out of your pocket and put it here on the bench between us. Then I'm going to get up with your wallet and walk to the restrooms behind us. On the way, I'll take your money out and throw your wallet in the trash that's by the restrooms. I don't care about your credit cards, ID, any of that stuff. All I want is the money. I need it. Your wallet and everything else in it will be there in the trash. He pushed his face closer. You cross me. Try to trick me or scream out. And I'll cut your throat so fast you won't know what happens. And you'll die here on the bench. And nobody around here will know what happened. It'll be so quick they won't even see it. You got it? You understand? A slight smile came over the older man's face. He leaned close to the man who was about to rob him and spoke clearly, with no foreign accent. You listen to me, Pinhead. The other man's face froze in shock. And listen carefully. I'm holding a Beretta 950 Jetfire with 8 hollow point rounds, and it's aimed at your guts. He jerked his pocketed hand dramatically. If you don't do exactly what I tell you, I'm going to blow your butt right off this bench, and you'll be lying there in a pool of your own blood, wishing you'd never seen me. Get up and get out of here. I live in the building across the street. If I ever see you again, I'll either kill you or have you put away forever. Then stabbing him with his eyes. Do you understand? Go. The man left quickly. The older man stood and watched him leave the park, cross the street, and proceed up the hill toward Girard Avenue. He had lied about living in the building across the street in Croatia, and didn't feel like walking home and possibly encountering this dude on the way. There was a payphone next to the restrooms, and he walked to it. Hi, Nora. This is Tom Mitchell. Is Nat around? Yes, sir. He just returned from the airport. You need to be picked up? Yes. I've had a surprisingly unusual outing. I'd appreciate a ride. Where are you? Tell him to come to the cove and make the little semicircular turnaround. And I'll be standing right there between him and the lifeguard stand. Okay, I know exactly where you mean. He'll be there in a few minutes. Thanks, Nora. See you. That's the end of chapter 1. I hope you'll read my books. They're all on Amazon, and they're all good stories.